She was never supposed to become this. Once. She was just a name whispered in fashion halls across glamorous runways on Eden 9. Sapphira Nix, a model, a face for perfume brands, a voice in peace rallies, someone who signed autographs and smiled under camera flashes. But beauty didn't save her planet. And when Eden 9 burned, so did the old Sapphira. The Singularity Legion came without warning. Ships like claws, soldiers like shadows. They didn't ask questions. They turned cities into glass and children into corpses. Her sister, Laya, didn't even scream. 1 second, she was holding Sapphira's hand. The next dash, gone. No soldiers came to fight. No help arrived from the Allied quadrants. The galaxy watched and turned away. So Sapphira did what no one expected. She turned her pain into power. She vanished from the ruins of Eden 9 and was seen months later in the Blood Rings, a Pharos 12 covered in bruises and victory. She trained in zero-gravity dungeons with mercenaries, broke bones beside rebels, and drank poison just to build resistance. The woman once known for lipstick became known for leaving it on helmets before she ended lives. She forged her armor from black obsidian fiber melted from the ruins of Eden's capital. Sleek, elegant, deadly. Her signature red lipstick, unchanged, became a symbol of something terrifying. Wherever she appeared, someone died. A monster? Maybe, but not the kind that hid in shadows. She walked in daylight, daring the universe to stop her. Now, years later, the Crimson Syndicate surrounds the last free human station. The air smells of burning fuel. Civilians pray inside cracked domes. High above them, a command ship waits, pulsing like a heart ready to crush everything. And in the silence before the strike, a single transmission cuts through. One woman is approaching, unarmed, unescorted, identity unknown. The Crimson General laughs. Destroy her. Then the feed cuts. His officers stare in stunned silence. A scout looks up, pale. Sir, that is the monster. Outside the gates, the woman walks alone. Sapphira Nix. The storm dances around her. Her plasma blade, long and curved, drags along the steel floor behind her. Her eyes icy blue lock onto the gate. Her black armor reflects red flashes from distant bombs. The red lipstick on her lips doesn't smudge, even in the wind. There are no soldiers behind her. No drones. No ships. Just her. And still, the guards hesitate. She's unarmed. One whispers. The other shakes his head. So were the 6 battalions she buried on Nova K. The gate opens. The first wave charges. Sapphira doesn't blink. She moves like a falling star, fast, bright, and impossible to stop. Her blade cuts through air, through bodies, through armor. Screams fill the space. One man tries to crawl away, calling for backup. She steps on his hand. He looks up. Please. She leans in and whispers, Did they beg when you took them? The blade hums. Silence follows. Inside the command room, alarms explode. The Crimson General stares at the death feed. One by one, his men are blinking out. And then, she's on the screen walking calmly, shoulders straight, blood splattered. Across her chest, a message burns below the image. I am coming for you next. He drops the screen. Sapphira enters the base through fire and wreckage, her footsteps slow and even. Every soul left alive knows her name, once a model, now a myth. They called her weak. They were wrong. The screams had stopped. Only smoke and silence remained in the corridors of the Crimson Syndicate outpost. Saphira Nyx walked through the wreckage like a ghost in high heels and armor, dragging her plasma blade beside her. Every footstep echoed. Off blood-soaked metal floors, her face was calm, her lipstick still perfect. Her armor shimmered like obsidian in the flickering emergency lights. She wasn't angry. Not anymore. This was just justice. Long delayed and violently delivered. She turned a corner and came face to face with a squad of mercenaries. One of them, the captain, held up his hands and stepped forward. "I know who you are," he said quickly. His voice trembled. "General Saphira, please, I have a family." Saphira tilted her head. She looked him in the eye, then slowly stepped forward until their faces were inches apart. "I had one too," she whispered, and then she did it, the thing everyone feared. She kissed his cheek, a gentle kiss, a moment of stillness. Then she ran her blade through his chest. He gasped, shivered, collapsed. The others ran. She let them. Not because she was merciful, but because she knew the fear would spread faster than any bullet. They'd tell the story. They always did. The kiss before the kill. It had become her signature. A final mercy. A mark of power. It reminded them she chose life or death, and once she kissed you, your fate was sealed. Some said it was a ritual. Others claimed she enjoyed it. But only Saphira knew the truth. It was for her sister. Lilia had kissed her on the cheek the morning she died. Just a little kiss. Just enough to say, "See you later." But there was no later. So now, Saphira gave that kiss to every monster she met. A memory, a warning, a death sentence. She walked deeper into the base. Sirens wailed. The AI voice spoke in panic. "Security breach, level 5. Unauthorized life form detected." Life form, that's all they called her, but they were wrong. She wasn't just life. She was wrath made flesh. As she descended the lift into the control core, her thoughts sharpened. She wasn't here for fun. Not for blood. She was hunting one being. The architect. The shadow behind the fall of Eden 9. The mind that turned human DNA into dust. The scientist who traded lives for algorithms and sold destruction to the highest bidder. She had his location now. Deep in the moon's subcore, hiding behind electric shields, drone walls, and steel lies. Good. She wanted him to be scared. Her lift stopped. Doors opened. A group of elite guards stood waiting. Exosuits, jet blades, face masks. Saphira stepped off without hesitation. One of the guards activated his blade. "You're surrounded." She licked her lips. "No," she said softly. "You're in my way." The fight lasted 32 seconds. 32 seconds of pure terror. Steel against plasma. Screams and sparks. Her armor was dented. Her blade hissed red-hot. One guard begged. One tried to crawl. None survived. When it was over, she stood in the middle of their bodies, breathing slow, calm, her lipstick now smudged. She wiped blood from her cheek and whispered, "Getting sloppy, Saphira." She walked on. In a control room far above, the architect watched the footage in disbelief. His eyes were wide, glowing from cybernetic lenses. His skin was pale from lack of sun. He hadn't left his chamber in 2 years. "She's unstoppable," his assistant muttered. "She's a model," he growled. "She's supposed to be dead, That planet was vaporized. But she isn't dead, the assistant said quietly. She's walking through your walls. The architect's hands trembled. She can't reach me, he whispered. Not here. Not this deep. But even he didn't believe that anymore. Saphira entered the final hallway. At the end stood a titanium door sealed with triple encryption. She placed her hand on the scanner. The screen blinked red. Access denied. She smiled, then pulled a small cube from her belt and slammed it into the wall. Electric arcs danced. Sparks flew. The door shook. She stepped back and counted under. Her breath. 5, 4, 3. The cube exploded. The door split in half, and behind him, the architect. Pale, thin, terrified. He stared at her like someone seeing a ghost. Please, he whispered, stepping back. We can talk. Saphira raised her blade. He fell to his knees. I made you. I made this war. I gave you a reason. She paused. And for the first time, smiled gently, then stepped forward. He flinched. She leaned in and kissed his forehead. A final kiss, the last one. Then she whispered, No, architect. You gave me a purpose, and ended it. The architect was gone. His blood was still on her blade, cooling under the flickering red lights of the ruined control room. Saphira Nix stood over the wreckage like a queen without a crown, shoulders squared, face unreadable, her armor cracked, and her red lipstick smudged just slightly. No one was left to stop her, and yet she didn't move. She didn't cheer, didn't scream, because vengeance never brought peace. It just burned quieter. The moon's systems were collapsing. The AI screamed from every panel, core breach in 60 seconds, evacuate immediately. She didn't flinch. The lift was offline. The escape ship's gone. She'd come for blood, not escape plans. Saphira closed her eyes and thought of Lilia, her little sister's voice, her laugh, the way she used to sneak red lipstick from Saphira's purse and smear it on her cheeks. I want to look strong like you, Lilia once said. Saphira smiled softly. Now she looked like a monster, but she had been strong, strong enough to tear empires down. Suddenly, a sharp voice echoed from above. General Nix, we've locked on to your position. She looked up. Through the smoke and chaos, a rogue rebel cruiser, the Echelon, descended like a winged savior. A small hatch opened from the side, a rescue line dropping toward her. Jump. A voice shouted. Saphira hesitated. Then she ran. She leaped from the platform just as the floor exploded behind her. Her fingers caught the line. The ship pulled upward, away from the burning core, as the moon cracked and imploded in a violent storm of debris and red flame. She dangled in space, eyes locked on the explosion. A piece of her past gone. She didn't cry. She had no tears left. Back on the Echelon, the rebels looked at her like they were seeing a ghost. She collapsed on the floor, chest heaving, armor ruined, eyes empty. One of the younger rebels knelt beside her. You killed him, didn't you? He asked. She nodded. You ended the architect. Another nodded. You did what the fleets couldn't. She saved us all. But Saphira didn't speak. She only stared at the stars through the glass. Weeks passed. The news spread like wildfire across systems. The Crimson Syndicate was leaderless. The Singularity Legion splintered. Prison worlds opened. Refugees flooded free colonies. And always her name came with the wave, Saphira Nyx. Some said she was a war god in human form. Others said she wasn't real, but survivors knew better. They remembered the armor, the sword, the kiss, the silence after her footsteps faded. The newscasts called her the Ghost of Eden. The children on broken moons played warrior, smearing red paint across their faces and in every shadowy corner of the galaxy. Her name caused the wicked to hesitate. She had become more than a woman. She was a warning. Saphira, however, had vanished again. No comes, no signal, no sightings, only a single encrypted message left behind, sent to the unified colonial alliance. This war isn't over. There are still monsters hiding in light, and I'm not done hunting. That was all. Somewhere in a dark asteroid field, Saphira stood inside a small station alone. Her armor was hung neatly on the wall. Her blade rested on the table. She stared into the mirror, fresh lipstick on her lips. The reflection stared back, not as a warrior, not as a killer, but as a sister. She whispered softly, "I still see you, Lilia." The lights dimmed. And in the distance, alarms started again. Another world in danger. Another monster rising. She reached for her armor. Not because she wanted to fight, but because no one else would. And as the ship's engines roared to life, a new legend began.